Good morning, 8th class. Yes, dear students, today we are going to start one new chapter, Civilizing the Native, Educating the Nation. Yes, my dear students, in early chapters, we have read about the British rule, how it affected our kings, their kingdoms, and the common people also. Means the tribal people, the weavers, or the peasants, and definitely the smelters also. Means how the British rule it affect the common life in our country. We have read about that. So I am just recapitulating that when they entered, means the British they entered in India, they came here for the purchasing of cotton, silk or spices. Later on, they tried to control over the territories, Indian territories, and with the help of the Bengal territory, it will be easier for them to collect the revenue, and by using that revenue means in in the form of gold and silver, it will be just easier for them to purchase the things from here. Later on, they started using the Indian gold and silver for the purchasing of things. So when they controlled over the Indian territories, now they don't want only to control over the territorial conquest, but they also wanted to control over the revenues. And for this purpose, they had a cultural mission in which they wanted to civilize the Indians. Yes, my dear students, to make the people perfect, to make the people educated. So here the question arises, why they want to make us civilize? Because they think, always there was a thought in their mind that the Indians, they were not the good habits, so they are not the civilized. For this purpose, the British, they wanted to civilize the Indians. The British could find no simple answers of these questions, means how they can be civilized, the Indians. So they continued to be debated for many decades. So there were two different aspects of Britishers about the Indians. For you can say, for imparting the education in Indians. First one, the first group believes that they should have to impart the education, the Indian education in Indians. Means they have to promote the learning or the education process through the Indian learning. But the second group believes that they would have to impart the education through Western learning. Means they thought that Indian learning is not good. It was not in the beneficial of the British government or the British people or the British East India Company. But the Western learning is good. For now, we just going to start the chapter, how was the British saw the education. The British thought that how some of the ideas of education we now take the granted evolved in the last 200 years. So in the process of this inquiry, we will also see how Indians reacted to British ideas and how they developed their own views about how Indians were to be educated. As I've told you, the first group, the tradition of Orientalism. Here I want to tell about the Orientalism. The Orientalism means the people, those who believed to taught the Indians in through Indian learning. So William Jones arrived in Calcutta in 1783. He had an appointment with a Supreme Court judge. He was a linguistic. The linguistic mean who knows and wanted to study several languages. So he studied many languages like Greek, Latin, English, French, Arabic. Means he has learned a lot of languages. He began spending many hours with the Indian Pandits who taught him about the Sanskrit language, grammar, and also poetry. He was studying the ancient text on law, philosophy, religion, morality. Means he studied a lot about the Indian text. Definitely, dear students, he discovered his interest shared by the many of the people. And he also studied many of the records of the many of the things shared by the British officials also, those who were living in Calcutta at that time. And they were the Henry Thomas Colebrook. Nathaniel Hellhead was also busy in discovering the ancient text. So means the Johns and Colebrook, they just studied a lot and they represent a particular attitude towards India. They show a deep respect for Indian culture, both of India and the West also. Indian civilization has attained its glory in the ancient past, and it was necessary to discover the sacred and the legal text that was produced in the ancient time. So Jones and Colebrook went on discovering about the ancient text. Means they started converting that text into English and just wanted to translating them. And they also do that, and this project they believe would not help the British learn from the Indian cultures. Means they thought if the Britishers they wanted to establish their kingdom here, so it was not necessary that the Indians should be imparted with Western learning, but they have the belief that it is the Britishers' duty to study the Indian text. So it will be easier for them to understand about the Indians and their culture. So the British hoped to win a place in the hearts of the natives only if they could be able to just pay the respect to their subjects also. So in this view, many of the colleges and schools they have set up, and one madrasa was also set up to promote the study of Arabic. And one Hindu college was also established in Banaras in 1719. So that would be useful for the administration of the country. So I am highlighting that. Not all the Britishers they were against the Indians, but some of the Britishers were there, those who want to promote our Indian learning, because they found some good things are in Indian text. So that's why they just ask their officials to impart in Indians through the Indian learning. So this is all for the day, and rest of the things we'll discuss in our next video.